How do you pay tribute to the man who helped define whiskey in Scotland? Well, Glengoyne came up with a way with this specific release. Welcome to Whiskey Catapult, where we catapult around the world trying whiskeys from all over the world. Today, we are catapulting back to Scotland in the Highland region. So, this is Glengoyne Legacy Series, Chapter 3. My last review was covering Chapter 2, which was a fun dram, a little bit more bourbon centric. And this one kind of goes back to their roots of being a little bit more sherry forward. So, we'll give this one a try. It is 48%. It was bottled and released in 2022, so a couple years after the Chapter 1 release. And it says here right on the bottle, the third release series release celebrates Sir Arthur John Tedder, who helped define whiskey as we know it to this day. So I did look that up. It's feels like a weird marketing thing, but basically he helped define the rule of whiskey has to be aged for 3 years to be called whiskey in Scotland. So an interesting way to honor him, especially with I don't know. I feel like he should release a whiskey that's 3 years old to showcase why it needs to be aged 3 years minimum. But is what it is. But yeah, this is a non-age statement one. It's natural color. It doesn't say non-chill filtered on the bottle. I wish it did. I looked around, and this one's got a lot more text than the previous one, but it doesn't say non-chill filtered. Very disappointed in that. I think it's not. When I was doing tasting notes for this, I left it in the glass. It got like some Scotch mist in there, which usually indicates that it's not chill filtered. So I'd lean towards it's not, but unless it's on the bottle, I can't say for sure. But from my experience and from what I've seen, I believe it's non-chill filtered, which would be good. It is a classic sherry nose, right on that Glengoyne signature. So some distilleries like Macallan, Dalmore, Glengoyne is another one. They kind of have like a signature nose where you nose it next to other ones, and you know right away, like, okay, yeah, this is a Macallan, this is a Dalmore, something like that. This one kind of rings true for there. It's kind of its own signature nose, I guess is to say. It lines up with other Glengoynes. But yeah, classic sherry, little bit of spice, a little bit of fruit, just a tad, but pretty good. Mm. Has almost this creamy sherry. Kind of not come wrong. So let some light spice, slight vanilla, almost like vanilla icing. That might be coming from like the cream sherry I mentioned earlier. And a little bit of dark fruit. Just a bit. Kind of on the back end. Yeah, but that's right up the alley for something that I would expect from Glengoyne. Yeah, finish lingers a bit. It actually doesn't die down all that fast. That's pretty good. But it's kind of got the little bit of that sherry influence is what's kind of lingering there. A little bit of spice, but mostly it's just that sherry cask influence that you get. Yeah, it's pretty good. So my last review is on the Legacy Series Chapter 2, and I'll put a link, I guess, on this side to that video if you haven't seen it. But that one was more ex-bourbon cask influence. This one goes a little bit back to what Glengoyne's known for, which is kind of that sherry forward. So this one was 32% American oak sherry casks, 22% first fill bourbon, 38% refill sherry and bourbon. So they don't give a breakdown of those specifics, but 38% is a combination of refill sherry and refill bourbon. And then 8% European oak sherry. So definitely more on the sherry side than the bourbon side for this one. And it definitely shows. This one to me kind of gets back to what Glengoyne's about and kind of what their main profile is for. It actually lines up very similar to the Chapter 1 of the Legacy Series release, which I finished that bottle already. I can't do a review on that one, unfortunately. But I remember that one being very sherry heavy, where this one is knocked back just a bit. It's a little bit more balanced than the first chapter, and definitely more sherry forward than the chapter 2, as I mentioned. Yep. Still has a nice creamy sherry. Some dark fruits coming in there. A nice spice. Little bit of oak is coming through now. Probably took a little time to open up. Yeah. Still get that kind of vanilla icing in there a little bit. Instead of saying cream sherry, I should probably say it's sherry cask influence. And I think that vanilla icing is what's kind of creating that creamy note that I'm picking up. Yeah. I could sip on this one for days. I'm not going to get bored with it. It's not a ton going on, but for a lot of other sherry whiskeys that I've had, like Macallan and stuff like that, this one definitely has more complexity than what you would normally get there. I've had a little bit of water to this one. So, as I mentioned in my last review for Chapter 2, I enjoy Glengoyne. I've got a few of their normal releases. I really like the 10-year. It's a really good price. My area is like 50, 55 bucks. Really good deal. I like it more than the 12-year, surprisingly. I thought I'd like the 12 a little bit more, a little extra age in those casks, but whatever they do with the 10-year, like it works a little bit better for me personally. And I've had the 18-year, which is probably the oldest that I've had from them, and it's fine. I think for the price, it's a little much because I believe that one was 43%. And for what you're paying for, you need a little bit of extra oomph. I've got a couple of independent bottler Glengoynes from Cadenheads. They're cast strength, like 56%. Really solid. Really enjoy those. Legacy series, I've really been enjoying that as well. And I think their best one is their Teapot Dram. It's not too far off from the cast strength batches that they do, and I do see those pretty regularly. So if you can't get your hand on Teapot Dram, highly recommend getting a Glengoyne cast strength release. Those are also really good. But those Teapot Drams, man, they hit pretty well. I've got 2 of them, and they're worth it if you can end up snagging one. They're usually distillery only, or currently they're not shipping to the U.S. as the time of this recording, but they're really good. Okay, sherry's softened up a little bit with water, but that signature's still there, that light spice. A little bit more fruit, actually. Less sherry influenced, a little bit more fruit. Okay. Ooh. Sherry's calmed down a little bit. The vanilla icing's come up a little bit more forward. Actually, the fruits come forward a lot more too. It's like a light. What is that? It's not quite peach, but it's in that realm. Maybe a almost cantaloupe. Yeah, either like a cantaloupe or a honeydew melon. That's interesting. Okay, towards the back end, the sherry comes back into it. Finish is nice. It's actually pretty long, especially for 48%. But yeah, this one's a good one. I see this one pretty regularly. In my area, I think I see it for about $100. If you like the Glengoyne profile, I think it's a good one to pick up for that price. It is non-age statement, so it doesn't say the age of whiskey that's in it, unfortunately. But it's on profile, but it is still different enough from like their regular core releases of like the 10-year on the 12-year-old, even the 18-year-old. And at 48% a higher ABV, I think you're getting a little bit more from it than what you would get from like the 18-year-old whiskey. Yeah. Still a nice nose. Do one more try, see if anything else pops out. Yeah, that melon note's just really coming through now. Still a little bit of spice. Cherry creeps in towards the end. Vanilla icing still in there. Not as prominent. Yeah, the longer you leave it in, the more that sherry spice just comes up towards the end. So this is a whiskey you can chew on for a little bit. I always appreciate that. I don't like it where you just, take a sip, drink it down, then you're done with it. So you definitely have this one sit in the mouth for a while. Yeah, so this one's nice. Got a little bit of complexity to it, so I'm a fan. I'd recommend it if you can find it in your area. Like I said, I still see it in my area quite a bit. It's on for sale online at different spots too, so you got full access to this one. So if you like Glengoyne, worth a try. If you have not had Glengoyne before, I recommend the 10 years and entry level. And if you enjoyed that, this would be a good additional pickup for that. So yeah, good stuff. So if you enjoyed this review, hit that like button and subscribe to see where we catapult off to next. Cheers.